Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Duke's Rib House and Grill, 1910 Cochran Road, 15220 in Mount Lebanon. Thanks for watching our show. We're on Verizon 32 everywhere in the Pittsburgh area, Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park, and we just hit a brand new high of 4,619 likes. So thanks everybody for all the likes. We appreciate it. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. We got Smokin' Jim Frazier, and we usually start with what's on our mind, but I have to make an announcement for all the people that bought those $1 raffle tickets. What is it that our international photographer, Bill Boyce, who somehow, Bill Boyce isn't here tonight. Bill Boyce, if you watch the show, you ended up winning the grill, the $650 stainless steel Weber grill with all that food you cook. I hope you're all right. I know you were going for some tests, so I hope you're healthy. Now you can cook some healthy steaks. Now our opening segment is sponsored by Skeets Service Station, and we're going to start with what's on our mind thanks to Skeets Lewandowski. Smokin' Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Hey, I want to thank Kelly and the owner Reddy for having us back once again. If you haven't done so already, please take care of your bartenders and waitresses. And if you haven't done so already, do yourself a favor, grab a menu, because 2 weeks ago, I had the best ribs I ever had in my life. Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm excited about Pitt football. Tyler Boyd is the best receiver in the country. James Conner is the best running back in the country. I would put Pitt history up against anybody. Dan Marino, greatest quarterback of all time. Tony Dorsett, greatest running back of all time. Mike Ditka, greatest tight end. Larry Fitzgerald, greatest receiver. Bill Fralick, Russ Grimm, Jim Sweeney, Mark May, Jimbo Colbert, greatest line. Pop Warner, Jock Sutherland, Johnny Majors, greatest coaching staff. Darrelle Revis, greatest cornerback of all time. Aaron Donald, best defensive tackle of all time. Chris Dolman, best defensive end of all time. Hugh Green and Ricky Jackson, best linebackers of all time. With Tyler Boyd, James Conner, and Dennis Briggs, Pitt is on the tobacco road to winning the national championship. Pitt has already won 9 national championships. Listen, I would put Pitt, a Panther, up against a Buckeye, a Roll Tide, or a Duck. Pitt go out and win the ACC. Pitt win a 10th national championship, and then force the powers to be to build an on-campus stadium, because when it comes to football, Pitt is it.
Smokin' Jim. Wow. I'm glad all the folks, we changed up our show a little bit. They're all behind us. Now, Dave Cable, thanks for making this one of the most awkward shows that I've ever had. I appreciate that. Now I'm even more deaf in my right ear because of this, because he can't see anybody. And now all of a sudden he's a Pitt fan. Last year he was a Pitt hater. I can't even figure it out. What's going on? If you heard that voice, that's the voice of the Meadows. And if Smokin' Jim doesn't suck up to anybody, he's not Smokin' Jim, all right? We first come in, we're going to have Roger on in a few minutes. But I do have a horse subject, and it's not about harness horses. I watched the race. Actually, I didn't watch the race originally. Luckily, Zach Brenner, thanks to Brenner Contracting, look at this IZ, BC, Pittsburgh Sportsline. Thanks, Zach, for the nice purple shirt. I got more compliments. They said when you get a better tan, that shirt will look even better on you. So thanks, Zach. And if you need shirts, we do sell them. We're working out our deal. You got to go through Brenner Contracting or let me know how many you want. But they'll be with Pittsburgh Sportsline exclusively. That's the deal we worked out. BC's popular, but we'll work that deal out later. But anyhow, we're at the Family Sports Center up in Evans City in Butler County. We made a road trip. Smoking Jim, Zach Brenner. Somehow we met at the Camp Horn Giant Eagle. I don't know. I can't even tell where Smoking Jim was waiting there. That's a story for another day. But I couldn't find him there. Zach, if you want to tell Roger, go ahead. But that was not good. So we meet, we go out there. We were so far out in the country, Zach Brenner tried to fool me when he didn't listen to 68 East. Somehow I go, we look like we're going in a circle. He goes, we're not going in a circle. We hit 68 again after going roundabout. So now the point of my story is, I said, I really care about the Triple Crown because I picked a winner, and I think the race already went off. We get in there, get our media passes, long story short, great Gladiators of the Cage, MMA. Great card, great fights. Well, here I see Chris Dempsey, one of our guests on our show, so I'm congratulating him on his UFC win. For a Pittsburgh guy to be competing in the UFC, what an honor. Even though he's from Ambridge, Smoking Jim, no comment there. So Zach's yelling, Levine, get over here. I'm like, we're already here, the race is over. He's like, no, come on over now. He's in front of the biggest TV screen they had. And he goes, get over here. He goes, I don't know who won. I said, American Pharaoh had a win. He goes, you're just saying it. I go, no, he had to. If he was on the front end, then he won the race. Sure enough, he went wire to wire.
Wow.
I've been predicting it after the Kentucky Derby just because of his breeding, his racing on different tracks. His father and grandfather were good mutters. He was a good horse to get off the gate. He had a great jockey. And American Pharaoh didn't pay much, but he's the first Triple Crown winner in 37 years. For all of you that aren't horse fans, I know you think of it like a Stanley Cup or even worse, but it's one of the greatest things in the race, in horse racing. He's only the 12th Triple Crown winner. And in the 70s, I was blessed. Steeler championships, Pirate championships, and guess what? 3 Triple Crown winners, and one of the greatest horses that I ever saw race, Secretariat. So now I got to see another great horse, and I got to take a little credit for picking him to win when a lot of people didn't even know who he was, or the jinx is on. 11 other horses tried and they didn't win it. So here's to you, American Pharaoh. Congratulations. Our next guest, Smoking Jim, and I have heard him at the races before. I was doing an event called Hugathon Pittsburgh, and I hear this voice goes, Alan Levine, what are you doing on the track with Hugathon Pittsburgh? This is 3 years ago. Then he had Evan interview me. And as my buddy's leaving, because he always has to leave events early, they had me on the Jumbotron, and he goes, I can't believe we're all watching it, and Roger Houston's announcing your name. And I said, let me tell you a little secret. Back in the 80s, he used to announce my name with horses I own. And now, the legendary, the voice of the Meadows Racing Network and everything else still going on is Roger Houston.
Hi, Pitt fan.
Yes, sir.
You know, something you said about American Pharaoh, though. I heard a person that was on one of the major networks say that she was covering the race.
Right.
And she says what a pleasure it was to be in a location with 90,000 people and everybody was together on one subject, American Pharaoh. And it's something that it just gives you goosebumps and things to think about.
I'm a fan of horse racing, as you know.
Yeah.
I got those same goosebumps.
But even people that weren't fans got involved in this and the Triple Crown.
It's the excitement and the energy. Look at our man here so we can get a photo to post up. No, you didn't waste any time.
No.
You went right into the race, which, what was your thought on American Pharaoh beforehand? Because I didn't talk to you about that. Because I know you handicap and watch races and all types of thoroughbreds, harness horses.
I liked him in the Derby. I liked him in the Preakness. But what surprised me at the end of the broadcast on NBC after the Preakness, all three of the commentators, Jerry Bailey and the other two guys who were with him, all said that he wouldn't win the Triple Crown. Wow. And they changed their mind. Thank goodness they did. Everybody liked him, and he was truly
I was impressed by his race in the mud to be able to do that.
Did you see the picture of him coming down the stretch, and Espinosa was clean as a whistle, the horse was clean as a whistle, everybody behind him covered in mud.
Exactly.
Great picture, though.
Oh, it is. And you know the difference. Some horses are mudders and some aren't.
Yeah, some of them are stallions and geldings.
Yeah, that makes a difference,
you mean mudders. You mean mudders.
If you think he's funny, Smoking Jim, he got many more of those. I was on a show once, Meadows Racing Network, for over 3 hours with him. This guy does stuff that nobody could do, and it actually little fire in me that maybe someday I could do something, not at his level. What he controlled and what he did. He had to interview a guest like me, who he barely knew except for some cheap claimers and, a couple things, and having a nice horse at Trusty Lobel in a Snyder stable, well-bred 2-year-old. But we had a nice record, and he was handling what I was doing. Then he had to make sure he called the race. Then he had to make sure the sound was right, make sure the scratches and everything, horses that weren't racing, were up to date. And then he had to make sure about the camera was ready for when we were together on air, plus about 10 other things that I could not keep track of. To me, that's phenomenal. All I got to do is start talking here.
It keeps you young.
All right, since you brought up the young word, how long have you been announcing? I know, but how long have you been announcing at the Meadows track?
My first year was in 1976. I moved up here from Florida and Kentucky, and on the idea of a year-round job at one location instead of traveling Ohio, Kentucky, and Florida.
Right.
Joe Hardy and Ed Ryan owned the racetrack at that time.
Right.
And I basically hadn't heard anything for 4 or 5 months. And I saw Ed Ryan at Lexington. I says, "What about this job at the Meadows?" And he says, "Well, I thought you were coming." I said, "Nobody's talked to me since April." That was on a Saturday.
Okay.
On Monday afternoon, there's a knock at my door in Coconut Creek, Florida.
No
It's
way.
Joe Hardy.
Personally?
Personally. He flew down to Florida, and it was either tell him, "Yes, I'll come to the Meadows," or have him arrested for trespassing. Because he wasn't going to leave.
Let me think what you did. He's a very stubborn man. And he can get a little crazy there. So,
Joe Hardy's a dear friend, and I appreciate everything that he and Ed have done for me over my career.
Well, I was impressed when he built a barn way back in the early 80s. It was the biggest barn on track and the newest barn.
Oh, the 84 barn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that impressive?
Yeah.
I got to take a tour of it. I'm in the barn that you could see outside. Things would run in. They go, "We're going to fix these." But no, they were great owners, great people in the community here. 84 Lumber, Ryan Holmes. You can't talk much bigger in our neighborhoods.
I want to say one thing, though. You asked me how long I've been announcing, and then you put on at the Meadows.
Yeah, I had a little stipulation because I know you announced early.
Oh, early is right. I think I was a sophomore in high school.
Get
Xenia
out.
High School. Xenia High. Xenia, Ohio. And a gentleman that was a photo finish operator at Lebanon Raceway couldn't do the PA one night for the basketball game.
Okay.
And he asked me if I'd replace him. So I jumped in and I did the PA for the basketball game. It led to doing Xenia High School football and stuff like that.
And that's how your career started.
That's really started. But here's the kicker. The head of the public speaking department was my cousin, Olive Houston. And she came up to me and she says, "Roger, why aren't you in my public speaking class?" I says, "Well, Cousin Olive, we don't agree on too many things, and I just don't think I should." She goes to the school board, got them to pass a resolution. I got fired.
Olive got you fired.
Well, my cousin got me fired. So then I had to,
And the rest is history, folks.
so I had to,
What happened then?
I had to wait until 1960. My uncle gave me a chance to announce county fairs in Ohio. I took that, and it's been nothing but harness racing ever since.
That is amazing.
Well, a few other things.
Well, we may touch on those few other things, but I want to stay on the harness horse racing because in 1974, I was allowed to go out to the track and actually bet on the horses.
Oh, you finally?
Yeah, we were allowed to.
You're that many years younger than I am.
Oh, maybe I know. I just need better shampoo. I can't keep up with it. The shirt helps make that color a little more brilliant. I noticed the color you're wearing. But anyhow, I go out there, and the only voice that I really remember announcing races is Roger Houston. And he said, no, I got there a little later than that.
Yeah, 76.
Now, you got so many amazing statistics, but I do want to bring out one. This guy, he has to have announced more horse races than anybody ever in the history of horse racing. Am I close?
I'm just about ready for 100. No, I think this is right up to date.
Okay.
169,501 races.
As of this afternoon.
This afternoon's last race. Oh, I don't want to hit him too hard.
Now,
because
I want you to get a close-up. He doesn't have one ring. He doesn't have 2 rings. He got 8 rings, Smoking Jim. And he could wear them on his thumb.
No.
No?
Shut off the circulation and my hands.
Did you try it?
I tried it.
There you go, folks.
Doesn't work.
Is that unbelievable? Did you get that, Aaron? Thank you.
That's a true story, though. I did try the thumb.
I knew you had to.
It didn't work.
Because I actually saw you drive horses at the Meadows, too. So I know you'll take a chance on just about anything.
That's the one thing most people don't know about me, but I have a lifetime driving percentage of like 396, and I drove from 1984 through 1995, I think it was. Amateur races, but knocking on.
How about that?
I was pretty
At
good.
my claim, I got the jog horses the opposite way they race. And they trusted me to do that. But I give you a lot of credit. He was out there, and they got very competitive, to say the least.
The amateur races are probably cutthroat.
Yeah.
I mean-
Well, some of the other races are, too.
Yeah, even more so.
Yeah.
I will say one thing in the amateur racing, always bet on the woman driver.
Wow.
Seriously, over the years, the women have kind of dominated amateur racing.
Now, I'm a big proponent of telling people, if you haven't started gambling, don't start. But this guy would make an exception because he has all these rules, too. And I wanted to have you share a couple of Roger's rules. And if you do go out to the Meadows, even if you have a friendly bet with Smoking Jim, maybe you'll beat him once in a while.
One of them that I like the best of all is if your horse was hung every step of the mile the last time out, you bet him next week regardless of the competition. Number one, you're going to get higher odds. Number two, the horse is going to be tight from going the long mile the week before, and that's one of them.
And that's one that I've used.
Always bet the guy that has a birthday on that day.
I haven't always done that.
Doesn't always work, but you'd be surprised how many owners win a race on their birthday, how many drivers win a race on their birthday,
True.
or trainers do. It's not 100%, but...
Well, none of the rules are, right?
That's right.
That's why it's called gambling.
Yeah, but there was actually a gentleman named Al Stanley up in Canada that wrote a book called Stanley's Laws, and he was at the Meadows for an entire week, and I told him, I says, I'm going to develop some Roger laws.
Right.
And so that's how it developed.
What's another one that might be a silly rule that, say you go to the track for the first time and you wanted to look for something, besides a birthday or...
The prettiest horse,
Okay.
your phone number,
Okay.
your house number.
And this is one of the greatest handicappers in the business.
Names.
Okay.
Oh, what about Almar Sneaky Pete?
Whoa. We announced that on our show about a week
He
ago.
won this afternoon again.
Zach Brenner, now you heard it. That horse won 2, say it.
2 in a row at the Meadow.
I'm honored to have that on my show. I listen to that. There's only one other phrase that I like, and it begins with a B.
Oh, be there. You know how that developed?
Tell me.
There was when I came to the track in '76, Aubrey Lee had a advertising agency, and he did the Meadows. And the first commercial we were recording at KDKA at that time.
Okay.
And the commercial came up 6 seconds short.
Oh,
He says, what are we going to do? And I says, well, let's run it. So we ran it, and I said, be there! And that's how it developed.
I heard that so
1976.
many times being at the racetrack, before I owned horses, but after I owned horses, because we had about 4 or 5 racing. So
I also did pit football. And as
we
you know.
got to get into that.
But the wildest thing is, my first wife and my oldest daughter went to the pit football game with me, usually on Saturday afternoons.
Sure.
And there were 2 guys that were a little inebriated
Okay.
sitting behind them in the stands. Guy says, my gosh, I got to listen to him all week at the Meadows. Now I got to listen to him at Pitt Stadium. So, you know, and I used to be there a lot.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I went to games there. I don't remember it as much, but yeah. No, that's interesting. Now, you mentioned Pitt. We got to at least say something, Hugh Green.
Hugh Green came about. And I love to play with the players' names, you know.
Right.
And that particular year, there was no names to play with. I mean, how can you play with Hugh Green?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Green,
Right.
you know. And
Well, we do it.
I
Smoking
know.
Jim does. If you want the green,
Yeah.
see Levine.
Well,
But
anyway-
that's not as good as yours.
Anyway, I'm thinking, gee, who can I? And all of a sudden, number 99, Hugh Green, started making tackle after tackle after tackle.
Right, he's
And
everywhere.
And you know what I thought of? Boog Powell.
Yeah.
And
Great home run hitter.
how the fans would yell, Boog, Boog. And I said, Hugh, why not? And so eventually it got to the point, I say, the tackle was made by number 99, Hugh, and the crowd would yell Green.
I was there for a few of those games. No, it was quite an interesting time.
Oh,
Roger
by the way,
come out with these.
one football coach at Pitt, and he'll
Go ahead.
remain anonymous. He sent me a note at the beginning of the season. He says, you know, you've been announcing here for a number of years, but he says, I don't have stars on my team, so please quit blowing up the players by the way you announce their names and stuff.
Sure.
I had a little stamp at home, and I'm not going to say what the stamp said, but I stamped it and sent it back to it.
He told me off air, and anybody once asked me personally, he gave me permission to tell you what it is.
And I truthfully can say that that's the only football or basketball coach I ever had trouble with.
That's amazing. Since you mentioned basketball, let's go right to basketball.
My favorite, really. I like basketball better than football.
Okay.
And, I really do. I love the names, and the one that comes to me real quick is Carlton Neverson, Sam Bam Clancy.
Oh, I used to love that. Matter of fact, he was a friend of my dad who used to referee basketball. I had him on our show. We were at Atria's PNC Park. He's just amazing. He was telling us the stories, and you know how mean he was. But he's a good-hearted guy. He was a great guest.
Raleigh Massimino, Villanova.
I remember. Yeah.
My location at the scores table was right next to Massimino on the bench.
Oh, man.
And Raleigh, you know how he could get upset and
Yeah.
do that little dance and
yeah.
scream like that at the referee's night. And he turned his back to the court and looked me right in the face and says, "Did I go overboard?"
He asked you. Oh, there's no way. That's a classic.
I love Raleigh. And then another story that I like about Pitt is when they played West Virginia. And believe me, it was
Sure.
a great rivalry. I really feel it was one of the biggest ones.
Oh, I agree.
And Pitt that year's slogan was, "Pitt is it."
Yeah.
And everybody from West Virginia showed up with buttons that said, "Pitt is, you got it."
No, they were saying shh. It was shh.
There was one year that the score was, at the end of the quarter, I says, and the score is Pitt 7, West Virginia 0. Come to the halftime, Pitt 14, West Virginia 0. Into the third quarter, Pitt 21, West Virginia 0. The entire marching band from West Virginia stood up and gave me the finger.
And you weren't number one that day in West Virginia. I guarantee it. That's an awesome story.
I got a call from a guy down at the State Fair in West Virginia, and he hired me to announce the horse races at the State Fair.
Sure.
Then he found out I was the Pitt announcer, and he was a West Virginia alumni. I almost lost the job.
Wow. Who would think you'd be controversial rooting for Pitt, being a Homer announcer, which we love?
You know, the PA announcer, I don't know if he was the one after me or two after me, got fired
Okay.
for announcing on the PA. Now, I didn't see anything really wrong with this, but in this age of political correctness, I
Yeah.
guess you can't do it. but he said, attention to the owner operator of a red Farmall tractor bearing West Virginia license EIEIO. And they fired him for
How
it.
can you do that?
I mean, I thought it was a cool line.
I think that's a classic, an instant classic.
Hey, I'm sorry I kind of taken over this story, but this
No,
show,
that's
but
all right.
Bob Prince, great guy. And late in his career, he was doing commentaries for Channel 11, I believe it was.
Right.
Little minute and a half, 2-minute vignettes, something in sports. And he
Sure.
told me ahead of time, he says, I'm going to take a shot at you. He says, I want you to know it's just in jest. So he goes on the air that night after a Pitt football and said that I was making Pitt football into a 3-ring circus. Can you imagine Bob Prince?
Like I told you, in a plaid jacket, saying all kind of crazy things, and he has a nickname called the Gunner, and he's going right after Roger. That story, you told me that earlier. It's unbelievable. He was quite the character.
It's been a great
Good guy.
time. And actually, the Meadows got me the job at Pitt because Dean Billick was the sports information director at the time.
remember.
And he came to the track on a Wednesday night of that 76 season when they won the national championship. And he called me Thursday morning and says, did you ever do football on the PA? And I
Sure.
said, well, Xenia High School, Wilmington College, yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
He says, well, this is true.
All right.
We're going to win the national championship. This is after one game. He says, we're going to win the national championship this year, and we got to do something to pick it up at the crowd. And we heard you announce last night, so we want you to do Pitt football. And they
Well, he
hired me and-
obviously saw the potential in
Well-
you to fire up the crowd and the team. So you got to get an assist for that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
I think so.
Anyway, it's been a great run for Pitt football and basketball and
Hold it. Tell me the Mahler story, because at the racetrack you were telling me.
well,
Do you know I announced the Mahler games?
The big trivia question is who was the announcer for the Maulers and the Gladiators? Inside football.
No, that's
And
unbelievable.
I did 'em
I
both.
can't guess it.
Yeah, I did them both.
Inside football.
On the floor. The war on the floor. You don't remember that? That
He's
was
so young and innocent. He
That was
doesn't
what
know.
they called the Gladiators the first year in Pittsburgh. It was the war on
On the floor.
floor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, Mr. Diet Bartolo owned the Maulers, and the crowds weren't that great, maybe $13,000, $14,000,
yeah.
you know. And they had that big old hammer that would drop down and make a lot of noise and stuff. And one day he called me in the second or third quarter, and he said, Roger, you got to do something to stir this crowd up.
They're falling asleep there.
I didn't know where to go with that because I'd done everything I could.
How could you? That's why you were doing these jobs. I remember so many of your calls at the horse track. Now, Roger will give you a nice call at the beginning, name all the horses. And I had this little horse called Hancock Creed. And this is one of the greatest calls. He doesn't know it, but it is in my life because he was a closer. And he was a little horse, and he didn't get his momentum built up towards the end. We're there now. We're with family and friends. And I said, you got to listen to Roger announce the race. Well, Roger announces him, and then he goes, and Hancock Creed can see the field.
See them all.
See them all. Which meant he was behind. He goes, he's behind by about 18 lengths. And that was going to the half. So we're all there, and we thought we were going to win that night. So everybody's looking. They're going like this to me. Al, you said he calls a great race. I said, wait. Where the start line is, he goes, Hancock Creed's moving up on the outside. He's 8th. He's 7th. He was keyed on him because he was moving so fast. They left so quickly that's why there was such a huge
Did
gap.
he win? Did he win?
He ended up winning.
Your horse.
Our horse
That-
won after he said he could see them all.
That's not a Rogers law, but I do not do that call unless I think that horse has the capability of doing something.
Here, what I wanted to tell you is over a 2-year period, he won 23 races.
Really?
So, yeah, and Roger
23 out of 180 is not too bad.
Exactly. They raced almost every week, and it was a quarter
I'm
claimer.
teasing.
No, it was a quarter claimer, so this is the lowest class.
One other story about horses' names.
I want one. Come on.
I was announcing at Pompano, not the harness races, but the quarter horse races in the summertime.
Tell him this. I just told him about
Okay.
quarter horses.
And I
He didn't know.
also was doing the thoroughbreds at Calder.
Sure.
Calder in the afternoon, quarter horses.
You had to
at
keep
night at
busy.
Pompano. Yeah. I don't want to get old.
Right.
So anyway, in the quarter horse business, these cowboys from out in Oklahoma and Colorado and Texas, they name these horses anything they want to.
Right.
And they named this one horse, you know, and the general manager would call me every night before it raced. He says, "Now, Roger, be sure you say that horse's name
Distinctly."
perfectly."
Yeah.
And the horse's name was Bull Sit. Bull Sit. Well, Bull Sit was a young horse, and he won at 220. He won at 330. He won at 440, and he graduated to the longer races, 770 yards.
See how it's a
Now-
short race?
Now, at that point in my career, I memorized the horses as the race was developing, and
Sure.
I know advanced thing. So I didn't put Bull Sit with this other horse. And of 169,501 races, the only race that I didn't finish was this one race.
Oh, I gotta
because
hear it.
what do you say after you say it's Bull Sit on top and Scoop It Up is second?
And that's it for Roger Houston. We're going to have you back. There's no way. That is just awesome. Thank you, Roger. All right.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? We have to hug. From the Hugathon,
This
remember?
is my
This is-
Hugathon.
yes.
That's how I met Sauna.
No, we knew each other before that.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
A little bit, just in passing through JQ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Through JQS.
Yeah. How many people did we hug that day?
Oh, my
probably
goodness.
200.
We're on air, but we did a Hugathon 3 years ago.
Right.
And she was one of the best huggers, and I was naming the hugs that she was giving people, from even hugging dogs. And some people didn't want to hug,
No, I know.
so you had to work on them psychologically and everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, some people just cross the street.
with no further ado, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sana Carpellotti. I live and work here in Mount Lebanon, and I'm on the show tonight because of my work with athletes and performers. I do mental training, healing work, and change work with performers who have performance stress, anxiety, slumps, or just want to sharpen their mental game, anywhere from age 7 up to the professionals. And I'm also a yoga teacher.
Well, tell me the name of your business, since you.
Oh, yeah, right.
You could do that. I do
Okay.
shameless promotions. We'll do it in the middle, and then we'll get back to her at the end of this.
Okay. Well, right now I can be reached at Life Changing Hypnotherapy, and in the next couple of weeks it'll be changing over to my name, SanaCarpellotti.com.
SanaCarpellotti.com.
Yes.
Can you help my friend here? At least hypnotize him. I'm trying to get him in shape. He was a great athlete, power lifter, and everything
Me
else.
too.
And
I did that.
oh,
Yes.
that's not good. You got to get him at least focused a little bit.
Okay.
And I started a show, Healthier, Happier You, to give people tips with Bethany Montecalvo. So I'm trying to get him to eat better, like I drink green tea and do some healthy things. And he's starting to catch on, but not exactly.
Tell him when you're ready.
No, he's ready now. He was in the hospital
See,
for some
because-
mysterious visits that he hasn't declared what they were
when
last
when
year.
you're ready, it will. You will just
Hold it,
catapult.
wait.
Yes.
I hear him knocking. He's ready. All right, tell me about an athlete who you just helped recently, and I saw it, and he's competing in pole vaulting. I
In
thought,
Oregon.
and I thought it was so unusual. She's a hugger, how did she get a guy to use a pole, which you can't really hug a pole? So I didn't know what technique she was using. So I'm trying to find out.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say that everything I do falls under the umbrella of energy therapies.
Okay.
So my work is fast and very efficient. I'm all about strategies and finding the gold nugget that helps me to create the change. I facilitate that.
Okay.
So I do hypnotherapy, EFT, which is psychological acupressure.
You say everything you do because we're going to video this, and then I'm going to give Smoking Jim a DVD of this.
Okay.
So then he'll call you because
Okay.
it'll be now. But no, the stuff you're
Yeah.
doing is all the things I believe in and more.
Right,
So-
right. So my work is to find, if you have the problem, then you have the solution. And I facilitate the uncovering and the strengthening and empowering of
Well, it sounds
what
like
you're
you
struggling.
create a positive energy in almost every situation to
I
overcome
change
that.
people's lives.
That's
I
what I wanted to
literally
get
change
out.
people's
Right.
lives.
She's a life changer.
Yeah, I am. And I
Definitely.
can say that confidently because I have the testimonials.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a believer. I'm always positive that she's a
I
professional.
ain't seen you in the hot seat yet.
What do you mean? I'm asking the questions here. What do you want to ask? I'm not nervous. You don't have to worry. I don't understand what a hot seat is. I've been through many things. Look at the guys I have to work with.
I know.
I can't take it.
I'm teasing you.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm glad you are. I don't want to be in a battle with you.
I'm very gentle too.
I don't believe it. I looked into your eyes. That's not
So-
true.
Yeah. So anyway,
And that's our little comedic
I
relief.
worked with right. I have worked with collegiate athletes and professionals, and
Sure.
an interesting story. Well, I can tell you about Dave Shepard.
That's what I wanted you to at least do
and
first,
the only,
and then we'll
first I
segue.
want to clarify, the only reason why I'm mentioning his name is because he wants to let other people know how important and critical mental training is to performance and the possibility.
Here's why I'm a believer, and I wanted you on the show almost 3 years ago since we had just started it, but that's another story. Most of sports is at least 90% mental.
So I have
is
a
what I
question.
believe.
If that is indeed true, why isn't mental training included in the actual physical development
Here's
of an
why.
athlete?
I'll
You know,
answer you.
Why?
Superstition. They would rather believe in superstition. Like certain guys will wear the same socks and whatever else. Certain guys, like even myself, I wouldn't step on a white line. But I was already mentally tough when I pitched because I could visualize and picture that. And a lot of people don't have the knowledge and the tools to put together, which you provide for them. They have it
Well,
inherently, but they don't bring it out.
It is difficult for a coach because they have a lot of responsibilities. So somebody like me can come in and help athletes to hone in and to develop those skills, because if mind isn't, the body is neutral, the mind and the subconscious mind drive the performance of the body.
You know I'm a believer. Look what I just said.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Dave. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Dave. I'll give you some history.
All right.
I've never met Dave Shepard. And again, confidentiality is huge for me.
Okay.
I do not divulge that because it's private work. But Dave he said, I want you to talk about me.
Okay.
I met Dave on Skype in February of this year. He's a pole vaulter at University of Central Florida, a fifth-year senior, and he was bedridden with severe sciatica. He had not pole vaulted for 5 weeks. He was not sleeping. He had given up. He was ready to quit. He was literally in tears.
Right.
Okay. And so what happened was when I met him, he was he was very suspicious.
Sure.
Didn't think it would work or whatever. So
Most people, when you're talking about the mental aspect,
right.
they don't want to hear it.
Well, and I think a part of that is vulnerability, because to me
Good point.
it's an addition to, because if you're already at that level, you have everything you need. I'm just simply tweaking and rearranging and integrating some things.
Right.
Okay, it's not good or bad.
I understand that. I
Yeah.
believe in it. You
Yeah.
can see, I believe
I do.
that.
You're right there with me.
Definitely. That's
Yeah.
why there is no hot seat.
So
my friend.
anyway, so
Now, Dave, how
so-
did you help him? Because we don't have a whole lot of time.
Okay.
But after his success, I'm going to have you back on again. Because
Okay.
this is an important subject.
Yeah, well,
To me.
we did so much clearing, and what that means was to see what were the hot issues with him, what was the struggle, why was the sciatica there, you know, what was the lesson, what was the golden nugget here for
Sure.
him. So I used all of these tools and skills, and I taught him things to do, how to clear your head, how to, like, you can clear your head in 10 seconds or less before a game and reset it.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your
what I
simple
do.
technique? What would somebody like me do before I go on air? 10 seconds to clear my mind.
There's a pressure point here, it's a reboot point, and it's a fear-based point. If your mind is racing, see, there's no insight or solutions here in the frontal lobes.
Okay.
Okay, and this will create.
So what do we do?
It will decrease the possibility of success by up to 40 or 60% because of negative self-talk.
I can't wait any longer.
Yeah. So here's what you do. I know. So here's what you do. You tap here and you talk it out. Okay. Whatever is happening
So
here.
you're like hitting your collarbone here?
Right underneath the collarbone. Okay. You tap this out and you
What do you
talk
do?
it out. You know,
Positive
I'm really
stuff?
nervous about tonight. I know it's not going to go well. I can't stand when so and so does this or that. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail again. So you tap it out. Okay, then you stop for a second and you check in with yourself to see if it's quiet. And then sometimes you have to go
I'm
around
ready to
again.
fall asleep.
Yeah, it calms you down. It clears your head. Then you can go back in here and tap in what you want. You know, I'm okay. I got everything I need.
So your
I
self-talk
am ready.
is positive, and a lot
Well,
of people are negative to themselves anyhow.
Right, but you
so
have
that
to,
may lessen it,
right.
plus the
but,
physical
and you
part.
have to remember, if like that inner dialogue runs on neurotracks in the brain that communicate to the central nervous system and out into the body. Okay, so if you quiet that, and then I tell everybody I work with, athletically or
Sure, in business
whatever, in
or-
business, is like, don't leave your mind up to chance. I create my mind. Just because the mind is racing like that on that little train track that you used to
Right.
put under the tree, you know, like, that doesn't mean that it's permanent.
Right.
Okay? It develops over time, and the more attention we give it, the more ingrained and imprinted it is. Because remember, it's the same thing with errors, okay, on the field. You know, I make a mistake,
Right.
okay, and I keep rehashing it in my brain. I tell you about it. I cry to you. I call my mama. You know,
We got to have you on another show because my mind's clear now. Now, how do they get a hold of you so they can clear their mind like mine is
Oh
right
wait,
now?
is it time for me to go?
Yes.
Oh, can I just tell you about Dave?
Yes.
Real quick. Okay. So
You were getting so deep into this that I had to try to pull you back
Thank
out because
you.
I'm clear now.
Good for you. You can see.
Yes.
Okay, so Dave now is in Oregon. He left yesterday. He's at the NCAA track
Track and field
championship.
championships.
Yeah, he won his division. He has pole vaulted up to 17.8. And
All because of-
well, and we were doing yin yoga on Skype. He's
Okay.
been doing, because I'm a yoga instructor as well.
How about the short version now?
Yeah, well, so I have taught
What's
him
Dave
all
doing?
these skills now, and we have cleared so much. He's sleeping. His
Right.
His
No
back,
sciatica.
It's
Minimal.
significantly reduced. Okay, and he's gotten some acupuncture. So he quit. He did some personal changes, like he eliminated sugar from his diet that reduces inflammation. He has done things like he stopped drinking beer several weeks ago because he's
Good.
22. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, so I said to him, I said, if you want this, you got to taste it. No one else can do this for you except you. And you guys all know that. And athletes and performers know that.
Sure.
But you got to, it has to
Feel
be
it.
cellular. It has to be of the
Well,
body.
she's taking
of the
a cellular, and we're out of time with this
Okay.
interview. Now,
Okay.
tell them again how to get a hold of you.
Okay,
Because this
I-
is fascinating. I wanted to know more, and we just did.
My name is Sana Carpellotti.
Okay.
It's and my website is Life Changing Hypnotherapy, and I live and work in Mount Lebanon.
So she's a local gal. Come down to Duke's Rib House and grill for us.
Yes, I did.
I appreciate you being on here, and I'm going to practice that calming thing.
Try it. Seriously, let me know. I would love to hear your
You'll
your
get
results.
feedback, believe me.
Please, yes.
That's why I'm the talking machine. We'll talk about it. Sana, it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Hug. Don't give me that handshake.
All right.
Thank
you. It was a pleasure. Karen, it's been so long since we've had. Tell them who you are.
Okay, so I'm Karen Hall, Coach Hall, head women's basketball coach from the Community College of Allegheny County, the Allegheny campus on the north side. I also work with the Ozanelm basketball program. I'm the assistant executive director, where we do a lot of basketball camps, summer leagues, youth programs, after school programming, on and on and on.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're that busy. Now what are you doing now?
I just got out of school today
Okay.
because
I had
also
inside
teach.
information, sorry.
So today's the last day, so I'm excited.
Well, I'm glad we could have you here. Out of your busy schedule, you got a break finally.
I'm so ecstatic today because I feel free and
Yeah.
I'm ready to move into.
And plus you're back with
whatever.
Smoking Jim on air and myself.
Well, look at these faces. How can you not be excited about that?
know.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
All
okay.
his faces.
We're
Yes,
just
sir.
happy to have you
Yeah,
here.
thanks.
She's
Thanks.
one of the few people that has been on our live Tuesday night show.
You know,
There's only been a special few people that have come on to join us.
I felt very humbled and excited about that. To be on a set talking sports with knowledgeable young men.
Whoa.
Yeah, good-looking young men.
Coming from the Hall of Famer like you are. I like when Smoking Jim introduces
Well,
you.
do you know what though? This past Saturday made
What
2
happened?
years since our team had been inducted. The Mount Alvernia, the 34-0 state championship team was inducted into the WPI Hall of Fame 2 years ago this past Saturday.
Wow. Because
Yeah.
we had you on talking
Yes,
about that.
yes.
I can't believe it's 2 years.
2 years. And
Where has the time gone? She said,
Yeah,
I
he was-
remember when
yeah.
you guys only had 200 or 300 likes.
yeah.
Now Jim Auger, we got 4,619 likes.
You know, it's great, but that's time. That's how good the show is. I mean, look at
thank
the
you.
guests. I mean, you have a mental deep down in the valley.
You need her to help your
No,
kids.
absolutely. I need her to help me
No,
to
not
get
you.
more kids because I need some student athletes to come to school and to play some college women's basketball.
That's
the junior
great.
college, it's a great program.
How do they get a hold of you? They got to go to CCAC.
No, they have to call 412-237-2533.
Whose number's that?
That's Coach Hall's phone number. Yes. And call committed. That's the whole key. We need you to be committed
Hall
to the
committed. I
program.
like it.
Yeah.
That's probably the secret to your success.
I can't tell you everything. Some things we can't divulge.
That's why I like her. She
Yeah.
always tries to stump me, but I just
Yeah.
keep moving on.
Some things
I
we
know
just
it's
let
the
go.
core of why you're so successful.
Well, you know, you say keep positive people around you.
Exactly.
The energy, the synergy.
It is. It's
It
all
just
good.
rubs off. Yeah.
I could feel that power.
It's in the eyes,
Is it?
deep down.
That's because I'm calm again. She taught me a great trick.
No,
I
it's
like
been
that.
good. It's been good. All's well. Still working my college tournaments. I think I told you.
You did tell me off, before the show.
Yeah. So I work a lot of postseason, like the Atlantic 10, the ACC, women's and men's conference tournaments, different roles. Mostly I'm supervising the floor. I worked at NCAA's.
When it was here.
That was here, yeah. That was my
Nice.
second time.
And then you're going to Ozanam?
That'll start actually this Saturday, but I work it during the course of the year.
Do you?
I kind of fit it all in.
What do you do there?
I am the assistant executive director and the girls basketball program director. So we've coordinated our summer basketball program that will start this Saturday at Ammon Recreation Center in the Hill District of Pittsburgh. 18 and under girls. We have 6 teams that we'll tip off with on Saturday, and It'll be the next 4 Saturdays, and then we'll finish up with our O&M Championship into July.
That's great. Is anybody eligible to go to it or
Oh,
join, or
well,
it's
we have
already done
our
right
teams now.
Yeah, but beforehand, when would
Yeah.
they start trying to get involved in this?
Probably back in April.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've had some steady teams. We have both City League and WPIL
Okay,
teams.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
we
and
got
I have to mention our O&M Youth Leadership Conference that
Okay.
we just held. When you hear O&M basketball program, most people think it's just basketball. Well, that's not always true.
I didn't
we
know
have
that.
after-school programming, and we did a youth leadership conference, boys and girls, mainly high school age. So that's that 14 to 23-year-old.
Wow.
High school and some college. And we just had some different speakers come in, talk about life, talk about
Now,
academics.
tell me a couple speakers because we're a little limited on time.
yeah, well,
Give me a couple of your
okay,
speakers
so-
besides you.
Yeah, okay.
Hall committed.
I committed Hall. All the same. Okay.
I mixed it up to have you correct me.
So, no, not on your show. No
Yeah, I
way.
like that.
No, that was not being corrected. So we had Tim, and I still can't remember Tim's last name,
That's
sorry.
okay.
But he's a former O&M alum, played basketball at Perry Traditional Academy.
He probably knows
Under
them, but
Coach
he doesn't
Franklin.
remember any names.
Yeah, and he lives in Ohio. He's a principal there, and he has the Aspire program, which is really a model of the O&M.
Okay.
So O&M spans 4 decades of basketball, but now we're, as I said before, it's a new millennium, O&M, the O&M 2000, I call it.
Good.
Because of the technology, we're able to reach more people. We can connect with the Facebook, keep everybody up to date, and we've had so many alum. I want the T-shirt again, and we now have O&M shorts. For those of you that don't know, there's a huge logo, and if you were young and played in the O&M league, that meant you could play when you were given
It's
that
a
T-shirt.
badge of honor.
Yeah, it's a badge of honor.
Speaking of that champ and Hall of Famer, we're going to have to cut this short, but when you
I'm
want to
getting
come back again in
excited.
a few weeks,
Okay. Yes.
I know you're getting pumped
Yeah.
up. We need another edition of you getting on the
Wow.
show early. We had to accommodate some guests that were leaving.
No, they
so-
were great. The Meadows.
Yeah.
I told them, I said, now when I hear that commercial, it's this new meaning for me.
Yeah, he
like
is a
I met the
legend.
man.
He is a legend there.
To have a voice take you through life like that, that's really a special gift.
It is.
Special gift. So thank you both for
Thank
having
you.
me back. Love
It's
seeing you
always
guys.
great.
Thank
Of
you,
course.
Karen Hall of Fame.
And if we have an opening on a Tuesday night
Please.
show, what's your phone number again?
412-237-2533. That's how you can get me.
What's that, 5?
2533. That, and also for student athletes that want to come to CCAC Allegheny to play college women's basketball while earning an associate's degree.
Thank
Best
you for
number.
that shameless promotion. You know I'm all about it. You're gone. We'll have you
Thank
back.
you again. Thank you.
Coach, thank you, and keep doing the great things in the community. You're making a difference.
Thank you.
All right. All right, here we go. We got Rich Donnelly. They're doing the South Side
It's called the Southside Showdown. It's going
2.
You're actually right. Southside Showdown 2. It's our second event. This year, it's going to be held at the Sokol Club again, located in Southside. The
Gates open at 6.
doors open at 6, and the first bell will go off at 7 o'clock.
And in boxing, it's always on time, so make sure you're there. Get your tickets. Only $20, and I was just kidding. Sorry about that. The young guns are too honest here, right?
Yeah.
So, now, tell me the story about these guys behind you here.
These are our fighters from our gym. These are our younger fighters and up and coming. We call them the 51 Young Guns. They'll be fighting on a show. The show is going to feature. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
The
You can still
show,
talk. We're picking it up.
the event of the show, the focus of the show is actually North Side versus South Side. We're trying to compete South Side gyms versus.
You can tell you're a Pittsburgher. They always tell me about watching South
That's
Side,
what they
North
tell
Side.
me. South Side
So,
and North Side. We're trying to bring
Downtown. How about downtown?
Downtown.
Anybody from downtown going to fight? Sorry about that.
We're trying to bring the neighborhood rivalries back. We hooked up with Steel City, Jose Carabella's gym, which is Ray Schaefer, and we got our gym, Pittsburgh Boxing Club 51. These are our future fighters. They're all scheduled to be on the card. And if you want, they can introduce themselves.
Well, I'm going to go right to the birthday boy that made his appearance here on his birthday, Cameron. He must have gained 2 inches and not 1 pound. I don't know what happened. Cameron, you got nice shoes on, too. We can't put on air, but I appreciate that. They must have been a birthday gift. All right, tell him your name, buddy.
Cameron Donnelly,
All right, he's allowed to answer these questions. What weight are you fighting at?
118.
118. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You going to win?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to hear. Can I get a first-round knockout?
I'll try.
All right, because I always ask for that. I know I shouldn't, because the other guys are tough too. So
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And keep growing there.
Yeah.
Are you taller than your dad yet?
Nah,
Okay.
almost.
Maybe next year. All right, introduce yourself.
I'm Ricky Keck.
Ricky Keck, I just met your dad, and I said if you friend us on Facebook, you can see all the stuff we put on Facebook on Pittsburgh Sportsline. Plus, we need a couple more likes.
All right.
What weight are you?
132.
You don't look 132.
I am.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
Yep.
You don't have to lose any weight, do you?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Nope.
You ready to win?
Yep.
I'll ask you the same thing. First round knockout?
That's what I'm aiming for. I mean,
These guys are something else. Well,
no promises, but I'm going to try.
well, I don't want any promises in boxing because I've seen a lot of strange things in boxing, all right?
Yeah.
At least the ring is square. That's what I'll count on. All right, tell us your name.
Silvio Cercone,
Now, what do you weigh?
119.
119?
Yeah.
You look heavier than 119. All right, well, that's what fight. You'll be at 119
Yeah,
on
119.
Saturday. We can't wait. We'll be announcing the fights. You going to get me a knockout in the first round?
That's what everyone wants.
I like these guys. You can come back on our show again.
51 young guns. that's
I
what we
know.
call 'em.
And they agree with the questions I'm asking them. Now, how long have you been boxing?
A year and a half.
Okay, how long have you been boxing?
Same time as him, a year and a half.
Okay, is this unanimous?
What?
How long have you been boxing?
Like 3 years?
Winner. Okay. No, good luck to you guys. We'll be announcing the fights. I appreciate you coming out, and good luck to you. And I'm glad that I put you on the spot there because you guys seem confident. But you are in shape, I could tell, because nobody needs to lose any weight, so that's a good thing. Rich, any closing remarks or what else you want to bring up, buddy?
I just want to say, I'm here to
you
support
can hold this.
We're here to support the local boxing scene. I hooked up with Jack Mook, our head coach, Teddy Majorca, Jose Carabello. I got to give credit to these coaches for helping put this event together. There will be 13 scheduled bouts. 7 of them will be for a title belt.
Wow.
We
That
also
is fantastic. I didn't know. 13 bouts, too.
13 bouts as of now.
Okay.
7 will be scheduled for a title belt, and we also have 1 belt that's destined for the overall gym winner, and the gym gets to hold the belt with the recognition that they actually won the City Pride title belt.
That is great. And we'll be filming that, so stay tuned. Once this is put on the air, this will be on as early as Wednesday on TV. Verizon 32 everywhere. Comcast only in Bethel. I'm good. I'm mic'd up. You're good there. I knew once we got him hooked on the mic that he'd start talking. We only got a couple more minutes, Aaron. This is the way I'm looking at it. Barely. I want to thank Zach Brenner for giving up his couple minutes here. We ran a little late.
The Amish assassin.
The Amish assassin. Again, he got me this nice Izod shirt. What do you guys think of this color here, So you need boxing shorts like that.
He wanted that color. He wanted that color.
Yeah, but here's who got it for me, BC. Thanks again. Hey, thank you guys. Good luck to you. I don't know what all that laughing was back there. You better tell me off air. But Rich, thanks again.
Thank you. You guys are welcome. Look forward to seeing you guys at the show.
We'll see you
also,
Saturday.
come out, support local boxing. Thank you.
Definitely. And that's it for our show. Thanks for watching us. Be safe out there and stay Joey strong.
BPTV. Come volunteer. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be here.
BPTV. Come on in, make a show. It's still fun after all these years.